Thank you for the opportunity for presenting here on this important day. As Nikki already mentioned, we're going to talk about the mothers, the maternal aspect of the MAMI care pathway. Can I have the next slide, please? So the highlights of my talk, I'm going to be touching upon main three things. We'll talk about support of mothers in MAMI care pathway in context of MAMI care pathway. I'd like to reflect few findings we found in our case study from Pakistan. And then I will also briefly discuss what can be done in future to turn the policy intents into implementation reality. Next, please. This is a brief overview of the publications of MAMI Care Pathway. I will not go into the details because Ray will be sharing it with the audience in the chat and maybe later. But this above the top right one shows about the case studies which were published from Yemen, Pakistan, and there's also an RCT done in Ethiopia. They all touch about maternal aspect of MAMI Care Pathway. Next slide, please. So if we start with the challenges of what are the impeding factors which affect maternal care and maternal nutrition in care of infants under 6 months. So first of all, I would really like to talk about the policies. With the upcoming WHO 2023 guidelines, one can clearly see that a high maternal care and maternal mental health has been put on a pedestal there because recent evidences and experiences from different healthcare workers and community workers has shown that mother has an important role in care of infants under 6 months. However, despite of this recognition and the importance of mother in the care, infant care, there are still inconsistencies and variabilities in global practices. One major reason for this is lack of clarity and lack of action as to what to be done for taking care of the mothers. One thing which is clear is that although we talk about maternal care in infant under 6 months care, but there tends to be more focus on the infants rather than the mothers. So we need to shift this care, the focus on the mother-infant dyad, so to provide a holistic care for infants under 6 months. Next slide. Another aspect which needs consideration is maternal mental health. It is a known fact that mothers undergo depression, anxiety, and many other adverse mental conditions in the postpartum period. And this not only affects the mother nutrition and the mother well-being, but also reflects in infant in form of preterm delivery, low birth weight, and so forth. So it's very important that assessment of maternal mental health is done in the postpartum period, and tools are developed to identify early red flags so that they can be catered in time. There are also resources of supporting maternal mental health and screening for maternal depression in MAMI care pathway, as I'm sure other resources are also there which can be used by the healthcare workers. Next slide, please. Another important aspect that needs to be addressed is maternal empowerment. Empowered mothers are pivotal in successful implementation of MAMI care pathway and also in implementation of other programs which cater for infant under 6 months. And it's very important that this fact is recognized that mothers' investment should be done in maternal well-being and mental health so that mothers can be seen, heard, and supported. A qualitative study in Sudan, I'm quoting a mother's statement. She said, "I feel good about MAMI care. It gave important information that I did not know. I like that I was given messages which were very crucial, which can really help a mother on how to take care of the baby and you as a mother." Next slide, please. While we talk about investment, another aspect which needs to be taken care of financially is maternal health. In countries where there is at-risk infants, these countries are usually lower middle income countries, and they have other factors like repeated pregnancies, lack of biodiversity, lack of food diversity, and poverty. All these factors add up to maternal heightened malnutrition. And this not only includes caloric deficits, but also includes micronutrient deficiencies. An upcoming, has been there for quite a long time now, is giving multiple micronutrient supplements or MMS to the mothers during their pregnancy and in the lactation period. It has been proven that MMS has the potential to reduce prevalence of low birth weight and intrauterine growth retardation and prevent maternal anemia. So I really encourage, and I think many of the people who are working with malnourished mothers and infants would second me, that exploring country-specific contexts for piloting MMS through MAMI implementation offers a promising avenue and should be further explored. Next slide, please. So another aspect which can improve maternal nutrition and infant at risk is development of social security nets. Difficult socioeconomic conditions, food insecurity in many lower middle income countries makes it difficult for mothers to thrive and take care of their infants. Feeding at risk infants requires significant time, effort, and resources and can be supported through social security nets. Many social security nets across the globe exist, and they offer different kind of services ranging from food, cash, and counseling. And they have a potential to broaden, and they have a potential to address maternal malnutrition and infants at risk. So it is my suggestion to broaden the eligibility criteria to include mothers and infants in social security nets and think of developing such nets in areas where it is needed. However, researchers are needed to see the feasibility and impact of targeted support. A mother from case series in Yemen quoted, "Before the MAMI care pathway approach, low birth weight infants, twins, orphans, and adolescent mothers were ignored as vulnerabilities." So you can see that there is evidence, and inclusion of such population in social security nets would really benefit the mother and infant dyad. Next slide, please. So now I would like to talk about MAMI care pathway implemented in our country. I belong to Indus Hospital, which is a tertiary care hospital. We implemented MAMI care pathway in 2021, and it's been going on even now. And we address both the mothers and the infants in the care. There are a few reflections from our program, which I'm sure is not limited to my country only. I think it will reflect and it will resonate with the people working in lower middle income countries, because as Alice pointed out, the problems are consistent across the countries where there's high burden of at-risk mothers and infants. What we gathered from our program was that we had a high proportion of adolescent mothers and infants with disabilities. This made sense because antenatal care in such countries is poor, resulting in birth of infants with developmental and mental problems. There was high prevalence of maternal anemia. Social and cultural norms limited women empowerment. There were local taboos and customs which negatively affected breastfeeding practices. There was a strong influence of social media marketing in my country, which promoted formula feeding and compelled mothers to adopt formula feeding rather than breastfeeding. And there was limited awareness of maternal mental health and lack of social support for mothers experiencing depression, even among the healthcare workers. Next slide, please. I would like to share a few quotes from the mothers in my program, which are self-explanatory and understanding the burden of the problem in our country. One of the mothers said, "When I shared my feelings with my husband, he made fun of me and he called me nafsiyati, which is an Urdu word for psychotic mother in my language. He said that in a very derogatory manner. All I wanted was comforting words." Another mother said, "I had a traumatic delivery and I was almost on my deathbed. Nightmares gave me sleepless nights and I had no appetite." The third quote comes from a mother who was a working mother and who was educated. She said, I often pray to God to take away my child before me. It is better that I bury him before I die. Next slide. So, what can be done? I'm talking in context of my
तो
country,
अभी
but
यही
I'm
हुआ ना,
sure.
मामा ने मुझे बोला कि I'll do it. I said no, I'll do it. मैं उठ के किचन में चली गई and then there.
So, what can be done to turn policy intent into implementation reality? Next slide, please. We can break down the systemic silos and foster integrated infant mother care. We can advocate for policies that address women's health, empowerment, and nutrition, and invest in maternal mental health, nutritional interventions for mothers, and social security nets for the mother-infant dyad. Next slide, please. With these thought-provoking ideas, I would like to end my presentation with a quote that we will not only improve maternal care must become a central pillar of intervention. By this, we will not improve only women's well-being and outcomes for at-risk infants today, but will have lasting impacts for future generations. Thank you.